All right, this is our next episode of True Wrestling Fan Discussions, continuing our Saturday Night's Main Event review series. Saturday Night's Main Event 33. I'm your host, Mike.
I'm Frank. Let's jump right into this, man. This is another pretty much a go home episode towards a pay-per-view. This was pretty much 1 week out from the Great American Bash.
Hmm.
This was SmackDown's pay-per-view, as of course everybody knows back then. Raw had their own, SmackDown had their own. It wasn't until I think a year later that they decided to
I
combine the
never,
two.
I never liked that.
I always thought the SmackDown ones were a little weaker, despite the fact they had the better roster.
Yeah,
It just came off a little secondhand to
yeah.
Raw. But in any event, July 15th, 2006, from the American Airlines Center in Dallas, Texas, roughly 17,343 on hand. You'd think with them being in Dallas, they would have had a better stage for this. It just seemed like this was a house show somewhere in Idaho. I mean, it didn't look it didn't feel right to me, like the stage that they normally would put.
Yeah.
And again, this didn't feel like a Saturday night main event. This felt like a Monday Night Raw or SmackDown. It didn't have that nostalgia that we had 14 years prior. Unfortunately, it's the second time in a row.
Well, it's never gonna have it. We discussed it
No,
basically because there's too
too
much
many
television.
shows.
Yeah,
Yeah.
too many pay-per-views, too many television, and it's not really setting up the pay-per-views anymore. They're kind of already settled, and so you know,
Well, this one, I'm glad you said that because this one, the kickoff segment actually signed a match for SummerSlam.
yeah.
Before any of the matches, Hulk Hogan came out with his daughter Brooke, and Hogan had mentioned that he was on the first Saturday Night Main Event on May 11th, 1985. All of a sudden,
The king of Saturday Night's Main Event.
never got pinned on Saturday
Nope.
Night Main Event. He lost by disqualification or count out, but never
Yeah.
pinned.
Lost on the main event, dude. So to Andre the
Yeah,
Giant.
yes, he did.
But that was the main event. It was
That
the
was the
whole
main event. Yes,
twin
separate.
referee. So he Saturday night's main event never got pinned.
Dave Hebner, God rest your soul, man.
Mhm.
All of a sudden, Randy Orton comes out, and this is around the time they started making Hogan like Mr. SummerSlam because he came back the year before, worked with Shawn Michaels. Unfortunately, he shouldn't have won that one. Whenever we get to SummerSlam '05, we'll talk about that. And now all of a sudden he's come back to do SummerSlam '06, although this one was
Yeah.
really pathetic.
Yeah, and I kind of felt that he was because they had mentioned Brooke Hogan. Well, I guess she was doing her album at that time, right? Because I
Yeah.
remember they had the reality series, but she was also promoting her album. So I think he did it for her to kind of help her with her career. I think that's why he came back. I'm
hmm
assuming.
Well,
So, but
I mean, his knee was completely shot by this
his
point.
back. Well, how about his back?
Oh, everything, man. The
Yeah,
match with Orton, I don't want to get too far long into it. The match with Orton at SummerSlam was really bad.
yeah,
But in any event, Randy Orton comes out with a rose for Brooke. You know, he's trying to court her, or whatever. It's all part of his master plan. He presented it to Brooke and then challenged, with the utmost respect, challenged Hulk Hogan to a match at SummerSlam.
because he was the legend killer.
Yep, because he said, and who's the biggest legend in the ring? And I just happen to be the legend killer. And everybody, ooh. And Hogan knew what his game was, and so Hogan accepted the match. So it'll be Hulk Hogan versus Randy Orton at SummerSlam. This wouldn't be the last time this night that we'd see these two gentlemen. So following this, they did a video package on Batista, who was actually returning it this night. Uh, real quick recap: Batista had gotten injured. He was the world heavyweight champion. He had to forfeit the title. They did a battle royal on SmackDown. Kurt Angle won the title, and that's how Kurt Angle became the champion and went on to WrestleMania, and then Rey Mysterio won it from him. So this was the night that he was returning. He would actually be facing Mr. Kennedy at the Bash. Well, so it was Batista, World Heavyweight Champion Rey Mysterio, who would be defending the title at the Bash against Booker T,
Hmm.
and Bobby Lashley. They would be facing Mark Henry, United States Champion Finlay, and King Booker. Yeah,
I like King Booker, man. King Booker was hilarious. He was
it was good.
hilarious. Yeah.
I love how the royalty thing that just came out of him. He
It was
at first
hilarious.
it was
It was
stupid,
funny.
but then it just became
Yeah, it
him.
grew on you. It grew on you, and
Yeah,
it was funny. It was good. It was good.
Charmel was annoying though.
Mm.
Well, whatever. Um, This match was actually not bad. It was good to see Bobby Lashley, in his prime back then in this match. You see him and Batista on the same side, and you're like, okay, one of these days these two got to lock up. It was funny because they called him the little bastard, but we know him as Hornswoggle. He didn't have the name yet.
Mhm.
Comes out from the ring. Finley drags him out of the ring, gives him the shillelagh. He starts just wailing on Mysterio, and then goes back under the ring. And Michael Cole. And now remember, we had three different commentating teams, which got a little annoying on this. You had Ross and Jimmy.
Right.
Yeah, Jimmy, right? Jerry Lawler commentating the Raw matches. You had JBL and Michael Cole doing SmackDown, and you had Joey Styles and Taz
Oh,
doing
geez.
the 2 minute ECW match. Oh, don't worry, the next Saturday Night Main Event is pretty much all ECW.
Oh God. Oh God. No.
Yeah. So this
Sci-fi.
match, Sifi. This was about a 10-minute match. It wasn't bad.
No, that was pretty good.
It was kind of cool. Mysterio did a 619 followed by a Batista bomb on Booker T.
Hmm.
And Batista gets the pin. It's funny that Booker T is the number one contender and he gets the fall in this one. But we already know he's going to the Bash and he's going to become the 6-time champion. Finally, they finally gave him the push. So this match, like I said, it wasn't bad. It was a good setup, good action, and had at least a decent group in this one. Now, following this, Vince McMahon did a segment with the Spirit Squad, and it just so happened that DX would kind of crash it and cut down the volume and add lib to what they were saying. And of course, Vince, I want you to spank me. I want you to spank me hard. I want you to spank me once,
Funny. It was.
twice, three
It was,
times.
it was silly. It was funny though. I thought it was fine.
It was slapstick.
Yeah.
It was DX 2.0 only because Shawn couldn't do the stuff that he used to do. However, they made it work.
They did make it
With
work
Arena.
because
I
because
loved. Go ahead.
it was also them, these middle-aged guys trying to act like they were still young. So that's what made it funny. Like,
Yeah,
that,
and Triple H supposedly being the Bachelor,
yeah.
even though in this month his daughter was born. His first daughter was born in July of '06, and because I remember that when they did the segment, when they rushed Stephanie to the hospital from Raw, and they were like, and Sean's like, I wonder who the
One of the
father
fathers,
is,
yeah. That was
and
hilarious.
everybody's like, ooh,
Yeah.
and he's like, don't look at me.
Yeah. That was good stuff.
One of the best ones too was the Fourth of July one when they were at the barbecue and the girl goes under the table and Triple H looks at Sean and goes, "Oh, isn't that Mr. Fuji? Oh, I love Mr. Fuji."
Yeah,
They had some cool
there were
stuff.
moments.
So our next match was kind of a squash in a sense. It was Carlito and Trish Stratus versus Intercontinental Champion Johnny Nitro and Melina. Um, I don't know, man. I thought this was too short. I thought this match really didn't go. This was garbage.
No, pretty much. I mean, the shame of it is that Melina's an excellent wrestler.
He is. They just never gave
And
her a
Trish was,
chance.
yeah, and Trish was good at that point.
Yeah, unfortunately,
Had gotten better.
This was her final year.
Yeah, towards the end, but she was established. She already knew him. But whatever, it is what it is.
Unfortunately, because I mean, even Carlito and Nitro could wrestle. They just didn't give him enough time on this to show what they could do. Carlito used his back cracker, or what we call it now, the backstab, on Nitro and got the pin.
Mhm.
And so Carlito and Trish Stratus win. Prior to this match, like it makes any difference, they showed the first round of the Diva Bull Riding tournament, which would they have the finals later on. I mean, this is really ridiculous. And then following this match, they in the night earlier in the night they had introduced Kevin Von Erich was in attendance. Just remember the Dallas was always famous for the famous Von Erich Freebird matches, so he got a good pop from the crowd. So our next match, which was a kind of a joke, but okay, it was a 2-on-5 handicap match. It was DX, Triple H, and Shawn Michaels versus the entire Spirit Squad,
Well, yeah.
the World Tag Team Champions at this time too.
Dolph Ziggler.
Yeah, the only one that made besides Kenny kind of made it for a little bit, but then Vince lost faith in him and he was gone. But yeah, Dolph Ziggler was the only one
And it's not for the title either. It's not for the
No,
title.
unfortunately. But the one time they actually do go for the tag titles and they win them, Triple H tears the squad again. They were not destined to carry the tag team titles,
That was the
unfortunately.
first time DX got the championship too.
Yeah, because I was always wondering, even back in the Attitude Era, why did these guys,
Yeah,
when they started up, never go for the tag belts? Well, they
yeah.
had their eye on something else bigger, plus everything else that was going on. Now, the little special stipulation in this one, when you were eliminated, you had to go into a little holding cell.
Hmm.
So Triple H and Shawn had theirs on their side. Spirit Squad had theirs. It wasn't real quick before Mitch got eliminated by Shawn
Yeah.
Michaels. Sweet chin music and a pin. Mitch is gone. He's in the cage. Johnny was next, eliminated by Triple H. Spinebuster and a pin. You're in the cage. Nikki, you're out. Eliminated by Triple H, pedigree and a pin. You're seeing a pattern here. Triple H getting all the pins here. Mikey, the real energetic one. You're out next. Triple H, sweet chin music and a pedigree. You're in the cage.
See you.
Finally, Kenny. They killed Kenny. Eliminated by Triple H again. Sweet chin music, pedigree. Kenny's in the cage.
Clean sweep.
Yep, how we knew it was going to be.
Yeah.
Now this would set up at SummerSlam. DX would be facing Vince and Shane McMahon.
Mm-hmm.
What's funny is after the match, Vince McMahon came down. He actually got involved in the match because he hit Shawn with a chair out on the rampway when he was chasing one of the Spirit Squad members. Really didn't do a whole lot to sway how the match went. But when Vince tried to open the cage to attack DX again, Shawn Michaels gave him some sweet chin music. He falls into the little cage. They lock it up and they went up on top. And we were hoping that they closed the book on this. Unfortunately, no.
It's only just begun.
Once Vince gave up on Spirit Squad trying to take out DX, then he hired the Big Show to do it. And then Big Show would team with them. And even then, it didn't happen. So, in any event, following this match, now they did a video package on Sabu. Like we needed to be reintroduced to this guy. I mean, anybody that watched ECW knew how crazy this dude was. Genocidal, homicidal, suicidal, Sabu.
Yeah, I mean, they did it because to a degree, it might be a different audience at this point. It's years later, and a lot of people didn't get to see ECW the first run, and so
And what's weird is when they started up ECW, they didn't incorporate the original guys until after it was established.
Yeah.
Telling ECW wasn't that bad.
No, I'm talking about Sci-Fi ECW.
Oh, that was bad. That was their NXT. That was their minor league. They put guys. Sheamus came out of there. Kofi came out of there. I remember Sheamus's first feud ever was Goldust on ECW. I mean, that's where these guys would start, develop, and move on until he closed it down and then NXT was born. So, following this now, the Great Khali and Daivari came out. Now, they have a Punjabi prison match against The Undertaker at the Bash. However, Khali would never make that match due to a high liver enzyme count. So they kept him out of the match, and then it wound up being Big Show. So it's like, if you're not going to have the creator of the match in there, what's the point of having that prison match anyway? To me, it took away from it, defeated the purpose. But in any event, they were talking about the match, and then at the Bash against The Undertaker, all of a sudden, here comes ECW champion Big Show and Paul Heyman down to the ring, and they're sizing each other up. But Big Show said, "I'm not out here, to square off on you." He goes, "I'm out here to put you to talk you up." He said, "But one of these days, we're gonna have to find out who the bigger giant is, which would be Khali."
They actually got into a real fight backstage, and Khali kicked Big Show's ass.
Is this around this time, or
I don't remember. I don't remember what year it was. I know what happened though.
Oh boy. Any idea who started it?
Godzilla versus King Kong, man. I think it was the Big Show that started it, but Khali finished it.
Khali's a big boy. I was shocked because the very first time I saw it on the internet that Khali had come out on SmackDown against The Undertaker, I'm looking at him like, isn't that the dude from Longest Yard? because I didn't know his wrestling background.
Mm.
This was one of the few guys that
Just
like
couldn't wrestle.
slipped by me. Yeah, he
Just too
just
big. He couldn't wrestle. He was too big.
yeah, they pretty much just let the power of his hands and whatnot
Yeah.
do the match like Omos. He too big. He can't wrestle.
Oh, jeez.
Speaking of which,
Nice.
I love how Seth Rollins just got thrown into a match with Omos
Yeah.
for Backlash,
Yeah.
and Rollins sent a meme out that said, "Alrighty then." I don't know. So in any event, the Undertaker comes out at this point, and he attacks Khali, throws him, clotheslines him out of the ring, goes after the Big Show. He's going to choke slam Big Show. Then all of a sudden, here comes Khali. Now he's going to try to choke slam them both. It ain't going to happen. They choke slam him and laid him out. So that's where that went. Like I said, Khali will never make that Punjabi prison match. It would be Big Show substituting for him. So our next encounter was well, actually, after this, Todd Grisham had interviewed Big Show in the back about everything that he did, and that was pretty much it. Nothing exciting. Our next match, which again, not exciting because it was kind of a squash match. I don't understand why it was like literally 2 minutes, and an Extreme Rules match, and it really wasn't extreme. It was Stevie Richards versus Sabu. And I love how he finishes him on half a table. Like the table's not even up. It's
The table broke. The foot came. It was supposed to. Yeah.
This match was garbage from the time that bell rang.
But it was short. At least it was short. So.
It shouldn't have been because if you're going to try to show off a package on Sabu and show
I
what
know.
the fans you can do, a 2 minute match is not going to do it.
Yeah, I know.
But I mean, he puts Richards on the table that's broken and goes off the top rope with a chair and pins Richards. And of all the people to put Sabu up against, you give Stevie Richards.
Well, he was the ECW guy.
Yeah, well, one of the weakest ECW guys. I mean, what's next? You gonna give him the Blue Meanie?
Stevie kick, man. Stevie kick.
Oh, jeez, the Blue World Order, White Sox, as Ross would call them, right to censor. So after this, I don't know. I kind of went and got a drink on this one. This is the finals of the bull riding contest that they had. It was Michelle McCool versus Victoria. Real fast, Michelle McCool wins it over Victoria. She was on the bull for 12 seconds as per Victoria's 7 seconds.
Congratulations.
Yeah, whatever. I don't care.
Moving on.
And now, following this, they showed the video package on John Cena and Edge's rivalry leading out throughout the whole year. This was great. It was great storytelling.
Yeah.
Kind of around this time, I was getting a little agitated at, okay, we got another John Cena Edge match. But who would know that later on, this would be in no comparison to a John Cena Orton match?
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
I wasn't a big John Cena fan at this point. I was more of a fan of the Doctor of Thugonomics.
Yes.
But I did not like Edge. When he became like the rated R superstar, I didn't like him at all. So I was rooting for Cena. This is actually a pretty good feud.
It was.
World title match, which is actually pretty cool for a Saturday night's main event. Like, that's good that they're having
first time
title
in
match.
14, 15 years that they had the title on the line. Mm-hmm. And Cena at this point was kind of like what Roman Reigns is now. He was Vince's
Super
boy.
Cena. This was Super Cena.
Yeah. Right? And Vince was just throwing him down the throat. The only reason why his title reign ended after over a year was because he got hurt. And fans were actually happy because, oh, good, now we got another champion coming.
He was getting booed. He was getting booed, too, yeah.
Because the title reign was just too long. He was running through everybody. He made Umaga look bad. He made Khali
That was a great
match,
bad. Though.
It was.
The Umaga match at the Royal Rumble was probably one of his better matches.
It was.
Even during this run.
Mm-hmm.
But either way.
I mean, he made Lashley look bad.
But the match this is a good match.
This match was good.
Match, yeah.
Yeah. It was a little short because they were probably on the time restraint, a little 8 minutes.
I mean, the interference. Just Lita kept interfering into the match. Cena
why did they just ban her from ringside? Yeah.
He has him twice. He's got him beat.
He puts him in the FU. She throws the referee out of the ring.
Pulls him out. There should have been DQ right there.
Then he puts the STFU on him. She does it again and smacks the referee.
She smacks the ref.
Referee rings the bell, so
He
Cena
sees him
wins the
tapping.
match.
The ref sees him
Yeah,
tapping too.
exactly. Yeah,
And he's like,
I caught
ah,
that.
out of
I
this.
caught
He
that. Yeah.
saw him, and he's like, he's apologizing to Cena. She hit me in the face. Because Cena thought he won the title. Obviously, we knew watching. We knew what happened. We're like, oh, this
Yeah.
is a DQ. I was rooting for Cena too, but when
Well,
Cena
in
thinks he wins, he starts
two more pay
celebrating.
per views, he'll get the title.
Yeah, he starts celebrating. But it would have been nice. It would have been nice to see a title change on Saturday night's main event. You know,
It
would
would.
have been
Yes.
cool. But then Cena just he snaps. That was good though. When Cena just the hell with this. He goes to the the table outside, the announce
Yep.
table.
Oh, right off of the steps.
Yeah.
Boom.
Because at first
See ya.
at first they try to make you believe he's not gonna do it. Because he
Yeah.
picks him up, and then I think JR is like, oh, thank God, or something like that. Like he's not gonna do it. Then he goes up on the steps, and then he does the, and back then it was still the FU.
The FU, yeah.
Yeah, it wasn't the attitude adjustment. Just like it was the STFU.
FU, yep.
Yeah. So
it was good. This was this would heighten the rivalry between them to another level. Because remember, also in the middle of this was Rob Van Dam to his cup of coffee title run, and these guys will fight again at SummerSlam, and then Cena will get the title at the following pay-per-view.
Right. Yeah.
But yeah, I liked Edge when he got he not only being rated R superstar, but being the ultimate opportunist.
Yeah,
seizing any moment he could.
Yeah, I just never cared for him. But this Saturday night's main event was it was kind of garbage, but the last match I thought was good. So like at least they finished strong.
The DX match wasn't bad.
Yeah, it wasn't bad. Yeah,
it was nice to see the two of them back together and beat the crap out of the male cheerleaders. It was fun.
Yeah, so it was all right. It was entertaining at least. It wasn't that bad.
17,000 on hand. That was a pretty big crowd for a Saturday night main event.
Yeah. All right. Well, that's our episode. Please like, comment, share, subscribe. We'll see you guys soon.